So welcome everyone to a new episode of my Ferrari 430 Scuderia build. And in today's episode, we're gonna be taking apart everything in the front end and cutting off the front end and then seeing what we have left. And hopefully it should be good to mate my new front end and then the car can come back together. Hopefully my bank account can survive because it's not been doing well. So for those of you new to this build, this is my Ferrari 430 Scuderia. It's been hitting the front, but that's okay. We're gonna fix it because we got this. This was a brand new, well, not brand new, but brand new to me and my project. This is a new front tub structure from the guys at Fur Parts. Now, this is in way better shape than this, obviously, but we still need to do a lot of work to this piece because we have to remove the seam sealer, we have to take off some of the welds, we have to take off some of the rivets, but that's gonna be after we do all of this. Now, here is a lot of work because we gotta cut here, and make sure that we keep key pieces of the structure that we don't want to replace. Like this, I don't think we're replacing, but all of this is getting replaced and it has to go down the line and it has to go in the exact same spot that Ferrari welded it in the beginning, because after all this, we are going to be measuring and making sure that everything is straight. And to make sure that everything is straight, I'm not just doing this by myself. This is a DIY project after all, but I have a friend, Jack, and what's your name gonna be?
Just Jack is fine.
Oh, okay.
Jack is fine. I'm sure we can come up with some good ones in the comments.
Yeah. I mean, he's been reading the comments. Yeah. He knows what you guys have. What do you got there?
So we got some bags. We're gonna bag and tag all the bolts, have everything set apart so that way we know when it goes back together. It goes back together one shot, really easy.
So I happen to know from authority that if you bag and tag the bolts and then don't do anything with the car for 2 years, turns out some of those bolts start to walk away. Also, I think that we probably are missing some bolts on here, maybe?
Yeah, whoever took it apart before, they did not leave us a lot to be able to put back on this one.
To be honest with you, I think the accident also like just removed a lot of the bolts.
You don't need those anymore anyway.
No,
that's getting cut off anyway.
Well, I mean, this was a performance car. It's all about power to weight. This is just weight reduction. All right, so what do we got?
So you can see here, this is your rail extension that comes off for the tub, and it ends right there, and you have a solid weld where it laps inside of there. This rail laps over this one, and then this one stops on the inside, and it has a plate on the outside where they actually weld that plate from this plate to here. Pretty simple, easy to take apart.
So the top is a little bit more involved, I'm guessing, or
No,
not really?
so the top's about the same. It literally slides in to about right there, like where, so you can see where this slides over this piece. So once we trim these free, we'll have access to it, and we just pull that right off, and then we take it, slide the old piece over here,
okay,
the new piece onto this piece here, and measure 5 times, cut once, put it on, and
probably gonna cut more than once.
yeah.
All right, guys, a quick aside here. Speaking of taking things apart, do you remember in the mid-90s and early 2000s when you bought a car and you had to get the dealership installed security system, and it took a while to install? They did a bunch of wiring work. It ended up draining the battery, and it didn't even work half the time. Well, thankfully, there is now a much better solution, and it's called Recover. So what this is some extra security for your car that you can install in 30 seconds completely wirelessly. So what Recover allows you to do is you can get your stolen car back fast, you can find it if you forgot where you parked it, and you can provide instant alerts if the car is moved without your permission. And here's how much confidence Recover has. It comes with a $5,000 limited warranty if a car's not recovered, plus $1,000 towards insurance deductibles. So keep in mind, Recover is a dealer install, so go to the nearest dealer that you can trust and tell them that they need Recover. So go check this out in the link in the video description below. It is a game changer for car security. Go check it out right now. Okay, so there has been a lot of work done here, and this was way harder than I thought. Usually with any sort of windshield, you just put something sharp behind here and then you just cut and it all comes out sort of, well, it should make sense. In this, it didn't make sense because the windshield had this like really thick metal molding that was adhered to the windshield, and it was basically impossible without destroying everything. So we didn't harm anything on the interior, didn't harm the A-pillars, and we didn't harm the roof. But how hard was that, man?
It wasn't fun.
Also, hi Jared.
Hi, I've been working really hard.
Jared just got here. Don't listen to him. He's lying. How hard was this?
Not bad.
Oh,
It wasn't that bad. The glass was hard. The glass was really, really hard. But for the most part, everything, you know, in only a few hours.
Only a few hours.
Yeah.
We did this like 2 different days.
Yeah, that's strong.
Yeah. Right here is interesting. I want you to explain this to people because there's a lot of people that think, oh, well, this is just hacking things off and there's no method to the madness, but they're really, it's fairly straightforward.
So these are truly serviceable parts, like where you would section it in and at. These are all along the weld lines. I left the old weld just so that when we get ready to put the new piece up, we'll clean it up and set it in place. But the new one will sit here, comes up through here, comes across here, and then down here. And then the same thing on the bottom. It just slides right into there. You weld along here, same thing here, and you're done.
And that's it. And then we can go drive a Ferrari, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
We could, technically.
When I took all this apart, I noticed that some of these guys, some of these studs were just completely bent, so those are gonna have to get replaced. But everything here seems pretty straight. This is not very straight right here. There's like a little bit of a bend in it, but this is also cast aluminum, so I don't wanna hit this too hard. I don't need to bring this out because the inner structure is all fine. This was all measured, so that's good, but this is kind of bothering me. If you look, right here, this is straight, and then it just kind of bows out. So maybe we can do something with this? What do you think?
Yeah, we can tap it out just a tiny little bit. We don't want to mess with it too much, just because cast is gonna be very brittle. You don't want to hit it too hard and crack it or something.
I feel like I'm not gonna listen to you and I'm just gonna send it. This is, for the most part, prepped almost completely for our new subframe here. And we did have to do some part shopping because, well, there are some things that we can't use on this, right?
Yeah, this is gonna be like a sacrificial piece. Because we are using a used piece,
yeah.
When we take this off, we have to remove this whole piece here to get to the weld.
So, yeah, so this cowl and this whole front, like top section here, it is welded and bonded to the underlying structure. So when we cut this, we're essentially making a slit in this where we shouldn't, and it's going to be really hard to kind of butt that up. So I bought this brand new from Ferrari, which is well, it wasn't like cheap, but it also wasn't like crazy expensive.
What would be expensive?
Okay, it was expensive. It's fine for a car like this. When I know that this is going to have a good like cowl and front, like it's just going to be OEM, and we are going to repair it exactly the way the Ferrari factory would.
Absolutely.
You're just still dealing with the sticker shock of a McLaren, so you're like $3,000.
Is that it?
That's cheap.
Oh my god!
I just spent $3,000 for a piece of carbon this big.
Yeah. You're telling me I can get this much of a Ferrari for $3,000? Sign me up, dude. All right, so you can tell by my haggard appearance that we've been working for a while. It is nighttime. You can't tell because everything's closed over there, and the lights are on in here. But I am super excited to get this back on here. Well, this on here to begin with, and I want this Ferrari to be as good as it can possibly be, and that is really good indeed. So you guys can tell me in the comments what you'd like this Ferrari to look like, what livery you'd like me to go with, what color scheme, because I'm really interested in seeing what you can come up with. So yeah, write it in the comments. But until next time, this is me reminding you guys that on cars like these that need, are you sabotaging my car?
No. I'm just playing with some quality urethane application.
Yeah. Ferrari doesn't. They do crappy urethane. You guys should build them better. We are definitely doing that here. And to do that, you need to wrench every day.